Traditional women. What the hell is it? And is it attainable in the current economy? No. The end. Video over. So now, let's make fun of this cringe together. First, here's the lore behind me picking this topic for a video. The other day, I was laying in bed, just scrolling through TikTok, just innocently killing my brain cells instead of getting out of bed and getting ready for work. I came across this video.
Ladies, want to keep a man? This is a prime example how to keep your man. Do not be friendly. Be like Savannah James. Now, my ex-girlfriend kind of like has that non-friendly towards my friends, but she was not friendly towards me either, so that ain't gonna work.
Zach LaVine daps up LeBron, then completely ignores his wife Savannah to dap up another person. Now, I didn't see the original video. I saw this one with this rando attached to it giving his 2 cents. I mean, I was expecting 2 cents, but I might have gotten shortchanged. All he says is that if women want to keep their man, then they should act like Savannah James and don't be friendly with other guys. I do understand where Rando is coming from a little bit. There's no need for a woman to pursue friendships with men they ain't related to. No need to have work husbands, because every work wife I ever had, I was trying to get in that. There's no need to have male gynecologists, like, at all, on earth. Like, imagine if your son was 18 and just graduated high school, right? Okay, Junior, what will you go to college for? You know what, Dad? I'm gonna go to school to be a gynecologist. I could choose my own hours. I could start off making 6 figures. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Oh, so you're just a pervert then? Wait, what? Get out of my house. Dad, I said get out! Now your dad is crying and shit. Freaky ass nigga. He's a 69 god. That would be tragic. But what else? Oh, she don't need to have male masseuses, because them niggas think they slick too. That's about it for me. But ignoring your homie's wife is just awkward. Like, you don't have to hug her, just wave and say hey. Even if he didn't know her, he knew LeBron, and he's reaching past her to dap up another dude. Just give her the casual, hey, how's it going? This right here, where he pretends she doesn't exist, is hella awkward. But I ended up falling ass backwards down a Savannah James rabbit hole. And I discovered that she got a pretty big fan base. People only had nice things to say about her, calling her a queen and wonderful and perfect and beautiful, which got me wondering, okay, just who the hell is this Savannah James character? And why do everybody love her so much? And in my extensive research through TikTok, I discovered the truth that the CIA don't want us to know. Savannah James is an android. Now, before you dismiss it, think about it. LeBron is not just a successful, wealthy man. He's a successful, wealthy man with Illuminati connections. They deadass made this man the king for abandoning his hometown and joining a super team. If anybody can get their hands on the beautiful Black Queen 3000, it's him. But as far as the media is concerned, Savannah is the perfect woman. She prioritizes her kids and husband over everything and only speak when spoken to. Android behavior. She don't take pictures with men because LeBron must have adjusted her settings so her social skills only extend to women. It makes perfect sense. See, if you can read in between the lines like me, you would come to the same conclusion. But Savannah is what the podcast people call a traditional woman.
Constantly still being noticed for all of the right reasons is exactly why I appreciate her. What's important with this is the type of man that you date and the type of man that you marry, because he will dictate. All of these men that you see in power in their women know how to fucking act. Let's give Savannah James a round of applause. She seems like a true lioness to a lion.
Nice.
Savannah opted to live a private life for the majority of James' 20-year NBA career. I want y'all to think about how hard that is to stay under the radar for 20 years. And every time we see this woman, she's next to her husband or she's supporting all of the kids and holding the kingdom down. Fuck.
Yes.
20 years, not a blemish to her name. Not caught in no scandals. Not caught talking down on her man. Not caught not appreciating her man. Helping him every step of the way to achieve awesome greatness. Fuck.
God damn it.
And that, dear viewers, is why I'm partaking in the most pointless debate on the entire internet. Why podcast men prefer traditional women. So what even is a traditional woman?
So here it is. So here's the definition of a traditional woman and also a modern woman. So a traditional woman is this. She's typically seen as someone who is more conservative, aka religious. She's family oriented and focused on domestic tasks such as cooking, cleaning, and child rearing, raising the kids. And she is not bothered, here's the catch, she is not bothered by the power dynamic shifting in the man's favor, aka men lead, women follow. That is what a traditional woman is. Now, the definition of a modern woman: she's more independent, she's career driven, she's focused on achieving her personal goals. Having a family and children is not a priority. She's open-minded and she's willing to challenge traditional gender roles, and she's comfortable leading a relationship.
Thank you, sir. So it's basically a stay-at-home mom. Okay. So why does the internet podcast dudes glorify these type of women so much? After all, stay-at-home moms ain't nothing new. Well, that's simple. Because the feminists want young women to aspire to be modern women. Everybody has seen some piece of media that depict a young, beautiful woman who prioritizes her career, or saving the day, or ruling a kingdom, and doesn't seem to care much about romance and family. And this modern woman thing came as a response to a history of women being victimized due to a lack of power and control. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing going on here. The masculinism, manalism, the fucking down bad dudes who hate women, okay? Let's go with man feminists. The man feminism was created as a response to feminism, which was created as a response to the man feminism. So that's the deal with that. Isn't it ironic that the feminists and the man feminists need each other to survive? It's just like an old mushy love story. Anyway, the traditional woman thing gave birth to a unique form of cringe. It's called trad wives. Let's watch the craziness together, shall we?
Going around about the term trad wife and the intent behind the term, as well as the intent behind my channel and what I post. If you are not familiar with the term trad wife, it is a woman who chooses to live a more traditional life with ultra traditional gender roles. So the man goes outside the house, works, provides for the family. The woman stays home and she's the homemaker. She takes care of the home and the children if there are any. The misconception about the trad wife movement, it's not really a movement. Nobody's pushing it. People are typically just living it and maybe showcasing their lifestyle like me. And we believe our place, specifically us as individuals, believe our purpose is to be homemakers. It doesn't mean that we are trying to take away what women fought for. There are a lot of people trying to make this a sinister thing or put some other darker meaning behind the term trad wife. Nobody is doing that. No trad wife TikTokers are saying every woman's place is in their home. We as individuals are just choosing to be homemakers. That's all. Trad wives also believe that they should submit to their husbands and serve their husbands and family. And that triggers people because the words submit and serve, it makes women think that we're saying that we're less than a man. That's not what we're saying. Trad wives just believe that they are here as women for a different role, equally as important though. I can make another video on that another time. To be a homemaker and to have traditional values does not make us bad people. It's 2022, women should have the choice to be homemakers or not without being judged. And women should also be able to use the term trad wife, which means traditional wife, and not be shunned for wanting to be more traditional.
Fair enough. So basically she don't want to work. Got it. Nothing unusual or bizarre about that at all. Let's see some more recent trad wives living their traditional lives.
This morning I asked my toddlers what they wanted for breakfast and they both said cereal, so cereal it was and we got started right away. I made 2 types of cereal. The first one was chocolate chip cookie cereal, so I mixed some flour, peanut butter, maple syrup, milk and chocolate and formed that into a dough. Then I rolled tiny little balls and flattened them out to resemble little cookies. I put all of them on a baking sheet and then popped that in the oven for about 10 to 13 minutes. Pulled that out and let that cool while I started on my second type of cereal. The cereal was a Cocoa Puff cereal, so I did oat flour, maple syrup, cocoa powder, some nut butter, and gave that a really good mix. Then I formed that into a ball, cut that in 4 pieces, and then started assembling my small little Cocoa Puff balls. I didn't want to flatten these out, so I just laid them on the baking sheet like this and put those in the oven as well for about 10 minutes. Once those were done, I let those cool as well, and then assembled my little bowl of cereal with my Cocoa Puffs and my cookies, topped that with milk, and that's what they had for breakfast.
Bitch, how many hours do you think the morning time lasts? This has to be the most unhinged woman on the internet. Why would anyone do this? When you go to the store to get your other groceries, just grab some damn cereal. And let me guess, the milk is freshly squeezed from her tits. Imagine being one of her kids and eating her freshly baked cereal and then asking for a refill. Well, I guess I'm not going to school today. Imagine missing school to eat cereal. POV, your husband is on his way home. What do you got, an I Love Lucy fetish? Imagine going to the movies or something with your wife, and she dressed up like she ready to go to a damn party at the Great Gatsby's house.
I think it's been really interesting to see how shocked people are by the term trad wife and how they seem to think it's some new way of living, like it's some unprecedented new trend. Like, have you seen these millennial and Gen Z girls? They just want to be at home with their kids, they want to have husbands and they want to take care of their husbands, they want to cook and they want to clean and they want to wear dresses. It's insane. When in reality, it's literally like the oldest lifestyle in the book. Before this, they were just called stay-at-home moms, and before that, they were just called women. But now our society has gone so far in the feminist direction that anybody who wants to live like a little bit old school and a little bit like how women used to live is fringe, right? Like an extremist. And I just think about how so many of us, since we were little, we were raised in this kind of boss babe feminist society that told us you can be so much more than just a mom. You can be so much more than just a wife. And so many of us listened and we, tried to climb corporate ladders and we boss babed so hard. Now, like, we're a little bit boss babed out. And some of us want to go a little bit more back to our roots, to our ancestors, to the women who came before us and live a little bit more, like they did. Call us crazy, but we like babies. We want to have babies. We want to spend the very few years that we have of them being little with them. We like cooking, we like running a home, we like supporting our husbands and having good marriages. And yes, we also appreciate cute dresses. The audacity. So call them trad wives, call them stay-at-home moms, call them whatever you want. But just know that no matter how much you try and push the career and the boss babe and the feminist lifestyle onto women, there will always be women who naturally want a more traditional lifestyle. Just like the billions of women who came before us.
Cap, I am calling cap. Normal stay-at-home moms don't dress like damn Amish people and cook cereal from scratch. This shit is a strange TikTok trend.
Hi, babe. Sure, thank you for your question, and you're not the first one to ask me that question. I've had that question probably asked 5 or 6 times since I started TikTok. The thing is that when I speak softly, I remind myself on a daily basis that I live a soft life, and I don't want to forget, because there was a time in my life when life wasn't so soft. And so when I get on here, I remind myself it's about me. Me speaking the way I speak is a reminder to stay soft, stay feminine. There doesn't need to be 2 men in this house. That he's the masculine and I'm the feminine, and I love my role. So whispering it is.
So as you can clearly see, society has lost its damn mind. She always whispered to remind herself that she's feminine. That would get old as fuck so damn fast. Hey babe, what's for breakfast? Well, I'm mixing the honeys and the nuts together now so I can make you some freshly honey nut Cheerios. Huh? I'm also pumping my tits so that you can have some milk for your cereal. What is it, a secret? Speak up, I can't hear you. And I'm also squeezing some oranges so you can have some fresh orange juice. I'll have your breakfast ready by dinner time. I want a divorce.
I asked my 59-month-old, my 108-month-old, and my 144-month-old what they'd like to eat today, and they all agreed on pizza.
Okay, pause. Bitch, what are you saying? I'm not even going to do the math to figure out how old our kids are. Past 11 months, we stopped counting the months. You know why? Because ain't nobody trying to remember all of that. I know I'm not the only one that forgot his own age before. Why would anyone make it hard on themselves by counting the months? Oh, right. Because these are trad wives. and they need to do everything in the most ridiculous way possible. And just look at how she floats away. Like, why does she run like that? Wait, is she trolling?
I suspected that they were quite hungry because they were quite grumpy and also quite lethargic, but I knew they wouldn't mind if I took a further 4/2 of an hour for myself to do a quick full glam before getting started on my dog.
Obviously, they were hungry. It'd take you all fucking day to cook these meals. And what the fuck is 4/2 of an hour?
One of the
Who
first
talks like
migrant ships
this?
to come here in the 1800s, and this recipe definitely did not come from the dish website. I lightly floured my surface and then began to take out any passive aggression that I might have towards my life on the dough. And once it was as dense and fluffy as I am, then I popped it into an oiled bowl and set it aside so it could rise. And then it was time to get started on my pizza sauce. And
She's making the sauce from scratch.
I got 2 years ago.
I hate this woman.
That was ever made for me. I foraged these tomatoes by hand from the shores of Moody Way Beach and combined them with these baby onions which I found at the local market, which we call bullies. I pulverized the peppercorns with the same methodology they used on my frontal lobe, and then I added a few extra things in an attempt to make these tomatoes not taste like pure fucking cardboard. I added some herbs which I pilfered from my neighbour's garden through a gap in the fence because I'm not actually allowed to leave the property without the accompaniment of a man. Then I combined the sauce, which is always my favourite part for some weird reason. Then it was time to get started on our mozzarella cheese, and everybody knows that mozzarella cheese tastes best with fresh milk, so I decided to head down to the garden and get some.
Wait, did she just milk a dog? Okay, she's definitely trolling. She's trolling. Right, she had to be, right?
My husband and my eldest son have been
So she's not trolling. Because all of her other videos are basically this without the dress and the silly run. Ugh, whatever. I'm getting too old for this shit. Next one. Look, I'm not even going to come for her ragdoll ass fit, because at the end of the day, it's just fashion. If it works for her, it works for me. But this does kill the argument that the trad wives thing is not a TikTok trend, because it's obviously a method for getting a lot of views. But don't shorty look like Cinderella before she met her fairy godmother? Like before the glow up? Like she be on her hands and knees scrubbing floors every day? And whose floors get dirty every day and needs to be scrubbed every day? Like what they be in there doing, the Cupid shuffle and goddamn football cleats every day? So what's the conclusion? Personally, trad wives would annoy the shit out of me. But to each their own, I guess. But there is one thing I notice about most of these trad wives. All of their husbands are rich as shit. Imagine that. You can afford a nice house like this, but you gotta save money by making your own damn cereal from scratch. Like, I'm not understanding the priorities. So let's review. Trad wives dress like they just escaped a time machine. They take hours making every meal, and they don't contribute to the income. Yeah, that's a hard pass for me. The problem with this debate is the problem with all the podcast debates. Podcast people are selfish as hell. The man feminists want women to serve them and just be their property. And the feminists want men to serve them and just be their property. Listen to this dude.
If your man woke you up at 2 a.m., he said, baby, can you cook me a meal? Would you cook your man a meal if he woke you up at 2 a.m.?
No. Just being honest.
What about you, Kiki?
It all depends on how I'm feeling.
All right, it depends.
Oh, you another depends.
It depends on the situation.
Here's another question. If an intruder broke inside the house, would you or would you not expect your man to go downstairs and handle that break at the door? Natasha.
Absolutely.
Allie.
Yes.
Kiki.
All I'm saying is if you don't, it's over after that.
Yeah, I would expect that.
What I've heard was that a woman's wifey duty is based off her feelings, right? It depends on how I feel. But the man's duty of protecting you, it's mandatory. How is it a fair deal?
These are so different. Like,
Yeah,
one is like not even the same situation. One is like you're both about to die, maybe. Right, and if you don't, and the other one is you might not eat.
So it's not about the situation. It's about what the man is attracted to, and it's about what the woman is attracted to. The man is attracted to femininity, submissiveness. The woman is attracted to masculinity, protecting and providing. So if you're not giving what we are naturally attracted to, it's not a fair deal if we have to always give you what you're naturally attracted to. That's going to protect you. Make sense?
And this dude really thought he was cooking. Firstly, ain't nobody doing nothing for you after you just woke him up at 2 in the goddamn morning. Get your grown ass up and fix yourself a sandwich or something. This dude is defining femininity as getting up at 2 a.m. to cook food. Femininity is a mindset, not a specific list of fucking chores. Besides, if an intruder broke into your house, you're both cooked. You can A, go handle that situation, or you can B, stay in the bed and tell your girl, Well, you didn't fix me a sandwich, so now I'm not gonna fight the intruder. Na boo boo. Now let's say they had a child. Then the child's in danger too. Realistically, she should go grab the child and escape, or hide, or call the cops or whatever, while you go deal with the intruder. They both should be getting active in this scenario. It's an emergency. Unlike randomly cooking food at 2 in the goddamn morning. But old boy didn't think of that, did he? Because he think like a 5-year-old boy in school fighting to get in the front of the line. If you're not capable of looking at the big picture, then you're not capable of being a father. Which is what most of these podcast people love to pretend that they actually care about. So all I can really say is these people should never have kids. I mean, they're most likely going to end up dying alone anyway. But imagine having a father who views protecting the people he claimed he loved as a job that requires payment. Well, she didn't get up at 2 a.m. to cook me a grilled cheese. I guess I'll just let my family get murdered. She expect you to deal with the intruder because that's what you do if she wasn't there. What type of cream puff will let another man trespass in his home and don't do nothing? Now, I do agree that most men are attracted to nurturing women. I know I am. But a woman can be nurturing and still don't want to get up at 2 in the fucking morning to fix you a nighttime snack. Right? It's just like if the kids got up at 2 talking about, "Mommy, I'm hungry." Most mothers would tell their child to take their little crumb-snatching asses back to bed. I'll bake you some fresh cookie crisp and squeeze out some milk for you in the morning. The podcast men have the same problem as the podcast women. They blame the world for creating a generation of undateable people when it's actually their own lack of empathy for the opposite sex that's keeping them single. Waking somebody up at 2 a.m. just so they can fix you some food is a dick move. It doesn't matter what the gender is. Alright, so I'm about to have the most pointless conclusion ever. Okay, and that is, do what you like, live your life, and seek out happiness. These podcast people be up here acting like they got a cheat sheet to dating, but ain't no right or wrong answer to that shit. What works for you, works for you. But thanks for watching. Peace.
Dough is a family secret. My ancestors brought this recipe with them to Aotearoa on the Aurora, which was one of the first migrant ships to come here in the 1800s, and this recipe definitely did not come from the dish website. I foraged these tomatoes by hand from the shores of Muriwai Beach and combined them with these baby onions which I found at the local market, which we call bullies. I pulverized the peppercorns with the same methodology they used on my frontal lobe, and then I added a few extra things in an attempt to make these tomatoes not taste like pure fucking cardboard. I added some herbs which I pilfered from my neighbour's garden through a gap in the fence because I'm not actually allowed to leave the property without the accompaniment of a man. Then I combined the sauce, which is always my favourite part, by heating my raw untreated milk to temperature and then adding exactly 7 tablespoons of homemade vinegar. And I find the best way to make your own vinegar is just to wring out your husband's socks after he's had a long hard day sitting. At this point I was so excited to share my hard work with the children.
This tastes like shit.